everybody. I like to say good evening. It makes you feel brighter than to say good afternoon. What do you think? Okay. So we are on a 9th session. So you all do realize that this is one extra one for you all. Like a gift to you all. So how are you all enjoying these sessions? Mamta, I heard about your thing. You please talk to Preeti individually. I'll talk to you later and Preeti. Okay. About you. So let's start because today is going to be a little long session. So are you all finding any use to this study that we are doing? Finally, it is a new study, right? So how are we finding it useful? Let's begin with that, okay? So proof. Actually, I am quite happy with this study because if I can solve even one case which I would not have solved otherwise, then that makes it worth my investment of time and your investment of time, right? So if any of y'all have anything ever to share, please let me know from before and we will share. So today I wanted to share this little thing with you. And all throughout, I'm going to show you some little proofs also. So, and also I did some one-liners for you all. Let's see what we can manage. Okay, so the proof that this study is useful. Last week we had this patient with lot of burning urination. So she was 70 years old, severe burning in the urine. And she said, it comes just drop-wise in the morning. From the time I get up, I have to just stand or walk or keep going to the bathroom, and the urine comes only drop-wise, severe burning and continuous urge and even for urge for stool. Though, of course, she did not get any stools, but she had a continuous urge for stool. So we worked out the case and can you see this clearly? I'll first do slideshow. Where is my slideshow?
Ma'am, end show on the left hand side upper corner. Now you can select setup slideshow. Here. Not that. Below it, setup slideshow. Right, on the right. No.
Sorry.
On the right hand side, setup slideshow. Left, towards the left, it's showing here on the next to record show, then rehearse timing, then hide slide, and then setup slideshow.
Oh,
More left to left. This side, ma'am. On the left.
the left. Hide
Next to hide slide, there is setup hide slideshow.
Ah,
Yeah.
but why should it be?
Yes. Okay.
Not showing slideshow. I just 1 minute stop share and they just slideshow used to be here, not here.
Stop sharing and then start sharing again.
So here there is. Where's the slideshow? It used to be very simple to do slideshow. I'm sorry, I'm not able to get the slideshow.
Ma'am, first you share the screen.
Okay, done.
On the right hand lower corner, can you see something? Right hand lower corner.
No, that's what I can't see. That's why I'm asking you.
Oh, no.
To be able to. Okay.
On the right, more right hand.
No,
Next
no,
to the time, more
yeah.
right. There.
It's okay. Okay, fine. Thank you. Sorry for this. So can you all see now? We took all the rubrics of the bladder calculi, morbid desire, painful urge. Every 5 minutes she has to go. Then urination ameliorates. Then difficult dysuria, urging desire with the rectum urging also. And rectum urination aggravates. Then we took sitting aggravates, standing ameliorates, walking ameliorates, and she has some keloids. So we took that also. So you would think usually our cantharis would come very high, pulsatilla would come very high, which came high. I gave a cantharis, there was not material, Naxwamika, no amelioration. And then here, if you see, here is prunus. So prunus, in being such a rare remedy, covers so many rubrics, and all the urine rubrics it covered. And this was 3 days ago, and patient called up this morning, and yesterday she had little slow flow. This morning flow was much better. Yesterday there were some drops and the pain has gone complete. So it means that prunus, which I never knew a little time ago, helped me save a patient, right? Yes. And our one-liners, which you like, these we've already done. You want to repeat them? We know the whole thing is about split. Actually, the whole, if we know that the generals we know, and then we know each remedy, some particular specific characteristic, then we can give any remedy. Okay, so you know it is all about Rosidea, is all about the split of masculine and feminine. Feminine still wasn't letting go, and the masculine wants to take over. So the relation is, the clash is the problem. Okay, so you have the ailments from together versus separate, ailments from grief, lung, blood, head, heart. This is in general. Agrimony we know very well, cheerful with pain, helpful, all that. Hidden one. Crataegus is mainly for heart. We use it, been using it for drops. Syphilitic miasm in this whole family. Love the family, wounded, and then stiffening of the heart. Tongue, there's metallic taste. Face turns blue. We had one nice picture there. And rigid, heavy burden on the heart. We build walls so that people can't enter. Amygdalis aqua, premature all life. It feels that it is born premature all its life. Its limbs don't move like in the womb stage. The limbs don't move. The heart is faint. The world is cruel. It doesn't want to come out. Aggressive. Near death trauma is there in all these roses, all this whole row. Cancer, this was syphilitic miasm categories. We saw this is cancer miasm or typhoid, comes out very fast, and poor communication, which is true of all, because they don't know if they are feminine and they are masculine. Feminine is wants to encompass all, and masculine wants to be rigid, religious, into work, and not communicate. Hydrocyanic acid, deadly poison, sudden spasms like any poison, convulsions, collapse. It's an acute miasm. There are eating problems, which can be both anorexia and bulimia. There's heart problems, asthma when it stops breathing, and there's panic. Aggravated any noise, even sound of cars. There is near death experience, and a strict father who is to beat her. We saw one case. Prunus cerasifera is very good. I just now, that is cherry plum. This is cherry plum. What we did just now case was Spinoza. This is cherry plum, which is one of the Bach flower remedies. It's given for control, fears, anxiety, breakdown, and will become insane. That is the fear. Verge of breaking down. Throws the self on the floor, and is very useful for OCD and for schizophrenia because very particular, and feels under superhuman control. Lot of guilt because there is a sex urge, and all these people want. When we come to rosales, we'll see, all of them want this love of their life. Pyrus Americana, there's a drama. It's as if they're living in the movies. And so there will be disappointment. There's always disappointment, even for little things. If there was something not done properly, they're disappointed. There's the story of love or of fears of bad will happen, leave the body under stress. It leaves the body, under stress, and wants to be waited on. So like a princess. Exaggerates a lot because then it will be get waited on. Means they will be served. Lung and blood, head, heart, stomach, like all the others. And it feels here the characteristic is stomach is filled with water. Chalaja, saponaria, deep phlegm, fatigue, lie down like gelsemium, eyes closed, skin flaky, and also useful to dress ulcers. So those are 7 remedies in 3 minutes. And we have seen how the Rosidea are the good, giving, the ego split, we already saw good, giving, knave, spiritual, thorn. They are like that, but the world gives them thorn. Abuse. So thorn is there in all the remedies. Cut off from the bouquet, yet persist, will grow, learn. They think that they will grow because of that, and they don't mind the lessons that they are taught. Issues are about sex, morality, religion, impurity, hormonal, all of them have lot of uterine, hormonal, and menstrual problems or year. The Rosa bracteata is a Rosa bee. It's a climber. It is a very useful remedy for sexual abuse, but we haven't still got it. It has 5 petals, yellow stamen, and it is thorns. Acute miasm again here, oppressed, and that leads to UTI. It can't swallow liquids. So liquid here is emotion. It can't swallow them. Then menorrhagia, menopausal depression, hormonal problems. They missed half the head. A lot of these remedies have one part missing. Postnatal depression and aversion to responsibility, better by walking like sepia, and prostrate and erection problem. So sexual problem, male and female, both are in this whole group. Rosa californica is a pink rose, 5 petals, give life and care to others, hold back love, anesthetize their pain. So it's like carcinosin. And lot of cleaning. Control wants, but yet they are controlled. They want love and appreciation, love, beauty, and flowers, but they are sweet and then turn prickly when they become very helpless, suppress their anger, fight me, guilt, being cut. I was cut off. Hears voices, so a lot of useful in schizophrenia. Controlling me. Then, of course, all the masculine things of career, earn money to help the family. Okay. Rosa canina is the dog rose. It has also effect on uterus and the UTI. The love, spirituality, liberation, which runs through all the row. Cancer miasm, struggle against canine. The canine teeth are also like horns. For dying patients who have lost their spirit, it helps them face death. Rosa canine. I was trying to find this remedy. I have a patient who just is so scared. He's got cancer, and the new patient, and is not doing very well. And he just is very fearful of death. So we wanted to give this remedy for helping him to face death. Hidden anger, friends, relatives, visitors doesn't want that, feels as if there's rock on the heart. Sorry. Love is unfulfilled in many of these rosas, and the urge is to help animals. Very sensitive to odors. And the Rosa D, which we have done 2 cases of, my patient also walked on tiptoes. And Rama's case of like a thorn. So it stands for earthly love, romance, heart, pleasantness, ear pathology, and connection is between the ears and the heart. If you remember the picture, to the ear with the heart inside. Rhinitis, tinnitus, and hearing problems. So Rosadi, lot of ear congestion is there in all, and most of them is to to get rid of their congestion. So it has intensified a lot of hormonal problems, intensified menstrual bleeding, hot flushes, all the things you can think of, menopause, swollen breasts, and colds are with congestive headaches. It is tall. It walks on toes because it wants to be tall. It thinks it is best. Remember my patient. She wants to be the best 7-year-old girl. Thinks she's the best, doesn't listen to her mother, can know 3 languages, learning Mandarin, can write and draw well. So they are wants to be in favor all the time, and so they are charmers. But if they are not listened to, they want to be listened to immediately. Rosa Gallica. Gallica is pink. So they go to what they think of her. Here, she wants to be all the time admired in Rosa Damascena. Here, what they will think of her. So they're very talkative, and therefore she gets a lot of mouth problems, gingivitis, aphthe, even herpes. There's a lot of self-criticism, desires respect, like a drama queen, weeps at unjust accusations, pleased with herself, or she feels dirty. So you always have this or that end. Social issues in school, lot of comfort. Prunus spinosa, we have done 2 cases. I gave you a case even today of Prunus spinosa with this kind of severe burning and constant urging. So everything feels like a, Rama also gave you a case of Prunus. No, sorry. We had another friend of ours coming and giving you Remy, who came and gave you a case. Headache, not better by anything. And she falls unconscious. This headache, Prunus, must be remembered. Severe headache can fall unconscious. Thorn in the eyes, chest, heart, head, heart, unable to breathe. Teeth as if they are feel that they're pulled out. So again, disappointment, suffering, indifferent to joy. So once they suffer, they become indifferent to joy. And from knave, they become prickly. Cotyledon umbilicus lost lots of chokings, tingling, confused, nerves, and she forgets a lot. So nervous system is affected, can't articulate. Babies cry continuously. You used to remember the picture, baby crying. Pain goes from the left nipple to the scapula and alternate depression and exhilaration. Some of the things look common as if in all, but we have to learn to differentiate. Hydrangea, you remember the pink and the flowers, and they turn blue when there is soil is acidic. And the most important thing in this is yellow sand in the urine or white precipitate left. So a lot of effect on the kidney, and you can use that. The thirstiest plant, they say. But there's one other one which will come even more thirsty. Then you have Angophora. It is like eucalyptus, brittle, gnarled, and tendency to fall. Constipation, swollen abdomen. The pain goes downward, better lying on the face of the abdomen. So we did the kind of a square, diarrhea, dysentery, debility. You have Tufia visco, which is tannin. There's too much of tannin in it. So it is used like a tonic. It builds energy. It's useful in cholera when high triglyceride. It is very aggravated by sour and by milk, and vomits that curdled milk. It is as if the food just passes through and doesn't get digested. Okay, is sleepless and feels very scattered. Kaju putnam is a very important remedy. We spent a lot of time. White tree oil. Old school used it for rheumatism and dysmenorrhea. Homeopathy we use for headache, hiccup, and stricture of the esophagus. Enlarged and congestive feeling, and everything is better by walking slowly, dignified. They feel the lungs are scattered, has to hold them, and can't find their clothes. They're lost, like in the first column, Magnolidae, the first subclass. They're also, because it's the womb stage, so the same row. And they feel as if they've had a night of debauchery. They may not have had. The feeling is like that. When they get up, they are walking here, there, don't remember, can't find their clothes. Lot of saliva and phlegm, and the belching is as if, again, choking, as if the emotions are choked and the tongue is swollen. So hysterical nervous system. Alone, much better. Aversion to talk, or can talk with women. So from calm, they can go to rowdy. So this, after debauchery, they want to be rude and rowdy. Kajuputtu. The urine smells like hamster or cat urine. Erections are 3 marks or no erection. Again, father is rigid. It runs through the whole thing, whether I say it or not. Anger is suppressed. They are unforgiving. It's the last struggle. Feminine, no boundary, versus masculine, they must work. There was that girl who said that I must work and support my family. Rigid, domineering, jerking, lot of jerking, nervous system. And Kaju Putnam can make you light and happy. Eucalyptus, we all know in a general way, we use it for balms and such things. It's a very thirsty. We saw in the other one, very thirsty, they said it's the most thirsty, but this is even thirstier. Israel use it for cleaning swamp because they can just absorb all the water. Ate the swamps up. It grows also very fast. So if you put something against it, then it can grow over that object. It opens the nose airways because of its strong smell. It's aseptic and disinfectant, preventive for influenza, for pricking, and for very lively and expansive in the beginning, and later dull and confused, too lazy to move, low confidence, free versus congestion. So free is again feminine versus congestion. So what happens is the feminine inner wiseness is not there, and the masculine still hasn't taken over. So they are like in that in-between stage. So conflict is feminine spreading and versus masculine oppressing. So all of them have hormonal problems. Then you had Eugenia Jambo, which is Zizigium. First very talkative, later becomes very alone, wants to be lazy, doesn't get up, doesn't do anything, and very rude. Hot, lot of congestion, tearing, because there's congestion, tearing in the neck, can't move the neck. Remember, we had a picture here as if there's a redness and bored on one side. Mind is activated now, but the body is becoming annihilated. Slow. So in men, you have slow ejaculation, semen is slow, coition after coition, there's aggravation, and lot of after coition, perspiration and thirst. Wants to be alone and sit and do nothing. And then you have the Arjuna terminalia. It's called term actually, but it has lot to do. It's been named after Arjun. So in the Ayurveda, they use it for heart. It is also cheerful in plain like agrimony. Skin important, where better by scratching. Normally you have worse by scratching. So it's a characteristic. Headache, diarrhea, flatulence. And important thing is it's a like arnica, but if arnica doesn't work, go to Arjuna. For injury, old injury also, bone and tissue, it heals. Post arnica or post karatic is for heart, and lot of ikaimus. So okay. Okay, so that is all for today as far as one-liners are concerned. I hope you enjoyed those and it helped you to revise what we have done so far. We are going to continue with my tale, and we are going to do 2 important remedies and long remedies and 4 very, very small remedies. So here are my tales. We've already done term, which is Arjuna. We've done Kufia. We've done Angophora. We've done Cajuputnam, Eucalyptus, Eugenia, Rhizigium, and Daphne and Mesarium. All these we have done. Okay. Quite a few. We revised just now 15 or 17 remedies. Today we are going to do granitum, which is a pomegranate, and all these small remedies, and another big remedy called this, which is the evening primrose. Okay, and we'll try and do Lawsonia also, henna. Okay, let's start. So granitum is Punica granitum. It is the pomegranate. And if you look at the pomegranate, which we never really may have realized, I myself had not realized, this is like a crown. So, since that blossom over there resembles a crown, therefore in many royal emblems you have this thing, and also feels like very royal and quite like a queen. We'll see that. So there are multiple stamens in this. I'm not sure, but I think this is the flower given to Ganpati also. Anybody can tell me this, or I'll find out myself. So the multiple stamens is a primitive characteristic, and that this family is very primal, means old in nature. So the pomegranate, of course, will always have stories because it is a royal thing. So it is in old Israel, it is a symbol of good virtues, fertility, and affluence. So it's good to have pomegranates every day, apart from our blood, which it really increases very well. The legend has it that Demeter, the earth goddess, and her young daughter Persephone They ate the fruit. And then they had to remain in the underworld. Underworld is the world of the dead. And then later married the king of the underworld. Okay. So that is a fable story. So due to its tannin content again, pomegranate juice is contractive and anti-helminthic. So it has lots of uses. So it try to have it every day. I have it every day, I hope, and it keeps my hemoglobin fairly high. The juice also helps to lessen depression, helps to strengthen the bones, and it raises the estrogen level in menopausal women and protects the heart due to its high level of antioxidants. And Rosenthal says also good for psoriasis. So you can see how many things it is good for. Contracting, anti-helminth, depressions, bones, estrogen levels, so menopause, hot flushes, then protects the heart and good for psoriasis. We are going to see many other things it is useful for, but this is good enough to start. It is of course found all over the world, especially in India and Mediterranean and all that. In the proving, this picture is really very nice. Beautiful. The thing, it shows the connection of the remedy to its pre-birth and as if it is, the expanded quality of the goddess and also the earth. They've come to earth and they feel as if this body is earth. And as a basic truth, that they are the earth. I am the earth. Felt pregnant with everything and of everything, and everything was a part of her. So you can see a lot of feminine. And she saw giant figures gliding in space with giant planets. This is as if it's creation. But when I thought about the past, I experienced great sadness because she's come from that world to this world. So it is called existential cosmic sadness. On the one hand, feeling a beginning of creation. On the other hand, that things were taken from her. She's come from that world to this world. So that world was taken from her. And it has a connection to the first chakra. Yeah. I'm going to go about this and everything you have to take in, okay, and see where all it. Granitum is a very big remedy and it's called gran. So maybe we can remember just our grandmother, no? So we can remember. Clairvoyance came up, always the first row, because they're connected to the other world, they will be clairvoyant. The ability to perceive what is on the other side, which is another characteristic of this whole row. First, aggravation after meditation. Why? Because it is sensitive to everything that happens in that other world. So meditation takes you, we say, to the other world, right? So it is. So it is sensitive to meditation. Normally people feel better and calmer after meditation. Here it is remembering its loss. It's left there and come here. And so there's great sensitiveness also. And this came out in the proving. Strong affinity to hormonal problems. Obviously, all of them have it because of the first row. When from feminine, you're going to masculine. Related to the loss of direct connection to the feminine side, more prevalent in column 4, the Delaney subtype. So many female problems, every remedy will see this: hot flushes, menopausal problems, hormonal imbalance. Then you'll ask me, but how do we prescribe? That's why we have to know the characteristic of each. There's abdominal pain around the umbilicus and herniation. Umbilical hernia. Very important, rigidity of the hips during birth and also postpartum depression. So this remedy, rigidity, it helps to loosen, so it's good for childbirth. According to Rosenberg, the remedy can save a life when given in an acute situation. See, we have seen all throughout there were these death issues, okay? Either she, in one case, we had seen that she dreamt that her baby was dying, somebody else took care. An actual thing, the baby did almost die and she felt disconnected, right? So it is on verge of death. So pomegranate is associated in Judaism with release, means the judgment won't be passed on them, you know, about Jesus Christ and judgment and all, and early death. So there is a release from judgment and from early death. Nausea, a lot of nausea, because of its nausea also indicates that it is not yet in the body, as nausea when mind and body are dissociated. They are not in synchronicity. So they are, that's why nausea is one of those things. Even when we feel too much nausea during pregnancy, the same thing. You have something where you have to give away part of your body. So there's a lot of nausea. And the mind may not be accepting. A lot of history will get where she didn't want to be pregnant, maybe, and so on. So you have nausea when mind and body are not in one, not in conjunction. Accompanying the confusion and forgetfulness and loss of way, you know, dreams, you know, Nats Moschata, Magnolidae family loses the way in well-known streets. So the whole row has it, not only Nats Moschata. Then the lower aspects of the body and the emotions find expression through sexuality. That's why it is chakra is lower down, right? Strong sexuality and sensuality, or frigid. So you can use it for both. There's both, always the both sides are running together. Many dream of loving relationships and sex. After years of not thinking about men, because they are at the end of the feminine thing, and having no interest in sex, she dreamt about sex and love and touch and smell and sensuality and touching a man and feeling togetherness which she had not felt for a long, long time. It is the beginning of being conscious of the other. So far, you were all with the mother, and you're being protected in the mother and all the food thing which is delineated. And now you're going out into the world to be with the other. So this is how you move. The row is still too much beginning. Beginning of the whole column. So it is, and the best part is that all these rubrics are really there in the repertory. So it is not that these remedies we won't find in the repertory. Some of them are already there in these complete and radar and such. We have dreams of hedgehog. Again, that prickly feeling, hedgehog. Then dreams of dolphins, the nice playful fellows, but who have to now work. Fear of work during headache. Lot of desires of appreciation. We saw granitum, na? Crown. And then clairvoyance is all there in all these remedies because they're connected with the other world. Dreams of chickens who lay eggs and give birth to other chickens. Dreams are aeroplanes, even as if pursued by a jet fighter. Dreams of high heel shoes. We saw tall, na? Wants to be tall in Rosa Demenska. There, so where high heel shoes, walking on tiptoes, such thing. Rattus. Rattus is the rat, and you know the rat always wants to grow big. So also got dreams. Dreams are not finding toilets because they have a lot of tendency to stomach problem, diarrhea. So they will, you know, think of that, or that they feel dirty. So dirty toilets. And there is also, then they become censorious. When they are not appreciated, they don't get what they want. So the mind is very sensitive and impressionable. There's fear and dread of work, not otherwise also, but especially during headache. There's confusion of the mind. There's dejection and discouragement. This is all later on. In the beginning, they are joyous, want appreciation, want to associate with people, but only good people. We'll see in one case like that. Quarrelsome humor, melancholy, gloomy temper, irritability, and arrogance. Censorious, reproaches others, very critical. Every person who thinks they are queen and royal, they think they have a right to get appreciation, and to themselves show no appreciation. Be rude, be, thorny, be bad. So there is unresolved karmic relation between man and woman. They say we have a problematic symbiotic relationship. So they always have this split. We've been hearing this for the last all these 9 lectures, right? And this split makes them see shadow. She wrote and saw as though a shadow was created behind her writing. So there's always something else, because they're connected with the other world. So there is somebody else there. The shadow is the first sign of the split, the hidden part, and the reveal. The division, what is enlightened and what is in darkness. So everything is black and white. Judgment, racism, shadow, and appearance. Postpartum depression, we saw depression about humanity, what will happen. The split feels weak and strong in the same person. Between these 2 stages, they often go oscillation. One day they are this, one day they are that. We already talked about the anti-helmintic part, and that talks about the lower part of the body and the susceptibility to the other influence. Other means the other person. From goddess-like qualities, you saw, I told you about Persephone, who married the king of the underworld, the lady of the underground in the first row. The oppressive male qualities creates an exchange between feelings of arrogance and need for appreciation to feelings of total lowness. So that's why the dreams of toilets also, guilt and lowly feeling. So there are mood swings. One day I looked in the mirror and said, I was amazing. I was feeling happy. Next day, I felt I'm so ugly. How can I go out like this? So, they go on, oscillate between these 2 states. Irritable, quarrelsome, arrogant, critical, and dreams of decapitation. The queen's head is cut off. And there is this need to connect with, the other world. There's this need to connect with this person and the other, and they know that they have left the other world behind, and they feel sad about it. So I should have been a queen, but I don't have the capacity, and that causes sadness. I know I'm capable of doing things, but I could not express that yet. Means I'm still growing and I couldn't reach that stage. The stuckness become congestion. We saw in all the remedies, Kaju Putnam, we saw how the congestion, by walking, the congestion is relieved, or by sexual expression, congestion is relieved. Sometimes we saw there's too much bleeding, and that releases the congestion. So the stuckness became congestion and sorrow for what I could have been. I could have been a capable queen, but I'm not ready yet. So the need for admiration was connected to primal motherhood. You know, in the road, there is motherhood still. No? In the first, two, second, third, fourth, all the subcolumns, all the subclasses had mothering, especially the fourth. And here, still it is there. So the admiration for was for primal mother. Everybody admired me and my motherhood. I have this need to be special because of my motherhood. So this is from the previous column of devoted mother. There's a general need to be different and recognized by the others. So I have to become an individual me in this fifth column. So I have begun this process. I've still not individualized myself, and I'm still, not been the queen which I should have. So difficulty in expressing her inner self. The mind is not built to express the rich inner emotional life. No, she's still developing her mind. Na? It was so far body and feeding and mothering. So the mind is not yet come to this stage. So they need to express their uniqueness upon meeting that other, because how will the other get attracted to me if I'm not unique, but I have no words? A feeling of a baby that did not get his needs met at the beginning of life can now come up. You have the second row, which we are going to do next time, the fables and all, where, this needs which are not met. Now they have a lot of needs which are not met. The mother said, before this proving of my baby was perfectly behaved. After taking the remedy, he became whiny, difficult, and sleepless. In babies, this remedy is connected to digestive problems, worms, because we said it's anti-helminthic. We said in the beginning all the 5 things which are very, very useful. Constant hunger and pain around the umbilic. Nausea we've seen is a very important concomitant all throughout, and they accompany symptoms such as anxiety, headaches, or dizziness. Their mouth is also one very important location. So there's profuse salivation during the vomiting or during pregnancy. There are problems with the teeth, great hunger, cannot fast, much flatulence, herpes in the mouth or the lips, as you can see. The remedy has too much heat. You've seen congestion all throughout, unrealized potential. So the congestion is also because there is this potential in me, but it has not yet been allowed to come out, or I don't have enough capacity to bring it. Physically, this is displayed as an ability to severe hot flushes or heat strokes. So it can be here again, hormonal and menopausal. Severe heat stroke on verge of death, Rosenberg's. And a lot of tendency to chronic fatigue and lack of energy. Whenever you're all the time in turmoil between feminine and masculine, having menopausal problems, having hormonal problems, you're bound to have chronic fatigue and lack of energy. So every fight always leaves you tired. So that's why you shouldn't fight or be too stressed or get too angry, because it all leaves you very depleted. So granitum, primal qualities like the baby in the beginning stage of life, everything centered around the food, task, sensation, sleep, functioning of a digestive system. On the other side, as full as a pomegranate. Pomegranate is one which has really filled in seed. It implies majestic quality, except that at the baby stage, that quality is unrealized, congested, and unexpressed. So personality of two extreme opposite. One, have to go out into the world seeking acknowledgement, appreciation for my queen-like uniqueness. or two. The opposite, stay at home, dependent on parents, spouse, unfulfilled and frustrated, more dependent on the father than the mother. Okay. So that was granitum. And if you can understand a little bit more from the cases. So here you have this woman 60 with hot flushes and chronic fatigue, both of which we have seen very a lot, in the description of the remedy. She talks a lot because they want to connect. Yeah, they have to impress the other person. So they talk a lot. I tell people what to do, but also have humility. When you say I have humility, means you don't have so much humility, right? She needs to feel strong. Anxiety is really looks causeless, but it's because the world is like strange, world is dangerous, world is frightening. And there's shame, because there's a lot of guilt and shame in this, in this whole row, because we go from this to this. They don't know too much sexuality. Should I have so much sexuality or not? So shame about being touched by men. Severe hot flushes get worse when making love. So when even in the throes of supposed to be passion, they feel guilt and get worse after making. So they adopted a baby a few years ago and went through a collapse, like a postpartum depression. So whether it's adopted or biological, you go through the same kind of emotion because you're really going through the whole process. Even though you may think it's not born out of my stomach or my vagina, you still go through the same feeling. She describes herself as creative, very sensual, attracted to beauty, crowns, and diamonds like the true queen. I'm comfortable in a regal setting. Jeremy Sher have done the provings of this particular remedy, and it is his case. With the remedy, the hot flushes disappeared and never returned. So, some of these remedies, it's not that we don't get results with lachesis or pulsatilla in hot flushes also. And many of the snake remedies, which are also, snakes also connected a lot to the other world. They come in the sixth step. So this remedy also is in the womb state, so again, quite high up and connected to the other world. There'll be a lot of commonality. But one thing is that the remedy is absolutely correct. That problem really goes away. And they are not our bread and butter, not our patients who keep on coming to us for a long time. They get better and they go. Another case. So here this girl was 9, but sleep problems since a baby. She only falls asleep if her parents are with her. In first grade, she started with hysteria. That means rituals have to be followed, I had a patient, I told you once, who, when he opened the door, his shoes be right at the door. If it is not there, he will shout. And he will tell his mother, I'm going to go back inside, close the door. When I open it, the shoes must be there. The baby, when he was small. He had actually a CME, chronic myeloid leukemia. He's still now 28 and doing well. So she started hysteria, rituals which could not be interfered with, and she must follow them. She's always scared she will vomit and keep that bucket next to her every evening. She doesn't vomit. That's a ritual. It's important that the father is with her when she goes to sleep. Otherwise, something will happen. So father will protect. Somebody will die. When her parents leave, she screams, very vocal. She fears every new thing and screams until the new activity is cancelled. So screaming. You saw that in that earlier child in Hajuputnam when she cries. During pregnancy, the mother did not gain weight. And the baby was delivered nearly dead because there was nothing, no weight. By emergency cesarean, cord ran her neck. Mother said I was very emotional. I could not stand with her in my arms. She has a dominant nature. If things don't go away, she explodes and screams. We've seen that, no? If pen goes, she screams. If the ritual don't go right, she screams. Every time she screams. But if otherwise everything's going well with her, she's a ray of sunshine. She's responsible towards her baby brother, loves him, but also bosses him. Very talkative. We've seen, no, in all the mouth because they have to connect. Expresses that nicely, laughs loudly, and too quick. Tends to be irritable. We've seen this also easily. She also likes to dance ballet. Again, you're tall, 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 like in Rosidea. So friends are important. And at 9, she talks about her new boyfriend. Reminds me of Platina. Yeah. Again, same queen-like and so on. She gets angry when she's not good at something. Because then she feels I will get bad marks, I'll be punished, I'll be away from my friend, teacher will not be happy with me. So she will not get her appreciation, which she thinks she desires. So the analysis was mind, anxiety, vomiting on, shrieking, sleep bad, sleeplessness, and stretching out. So actually, I wanted to show you all whether really actually it is there in the repertory. So I worked out this for you. And if you see, there are very few remedies which cover all these 4-5 rubrics. There is lac acid, lycopodium, nasomica, nitric acid, only 4. And the other one is granitum, which is far away because of the low marks. And I forgot to see stretch. So added that up here. It is also there in stretch, but must stretch, not in stretching ameliorate. I must stretch that rubric granitum. So it is nice to know that yes, you can get something in the repertory too, because otherwise, how to find the remedy? And this is my trouble, my problem with the animal kingdom remedy. They are not all there, all the lacs are not all there. So I always find, but how to reach the remedy? How to reach the remedy? To know, yes, animals, we know a lot about their characteristics, which about plants, we don't know so much, right? Even if we have 20, 30 plants in the house, we don't know what the characteristics. Animals, yes, we've read so many stories. So somewhere we can come. We'll do animals far away, maybe next. So the remedy was chosen according to these symptoms, but also by the qualities of the table, like row 1 in column 5, connected with death, she almost died, birth, and everything, a dominant behavior, like a queen, an excessive need for attention from the father, which is subclass. So this plus the repertory, plus the symptoms, and I showed you that the remedy granitum came. Okay. So with granitum, which was given in LM potency, LM8, because lot of mentals, LM8, 7, 8 is like 1M, 10M. She seemed to be more relaxed. Her breathing, anxious breathing was less. The need for this company, father, mother, until she fell asleep, that also decreased. And later on, she was able to sleep alone. The Risperdal, which was given to her, was no longer needed. This case is from Annie. So the proving is by Jeremy Sher in 2006. Most symptoms are taken from this. In row 1, where the exchange between the feminine quality of the 4th column, the masculine, the 5th, and the 6th, a problem is created with the flow between male and female, therefore problem in 6. Okay, so this is granitum, which was the longest remedy. We are going to do now some very short remedies, very short, to give you all a kind of break, and then one other very long. So we are now going to do these remedies. We've done granithum, we'll do this, spine, mela, henna, leucemia. And last we'll do evening primrose. Okay. So we are first doing Mythus communis. It's a myth in brief, it is called. Like Termina Arjuna, I thought would be called Arjuna, but it's called term. Okay, so a lot of stories are from Judaism because that is another very highly kind of spiritual kind of religion, and therefore a lot of things, sacred, holy, Sabbath, so many things are in the Jewish evolution. So the family is Myrtaceae. The fragrant leaves are used in Judaism for Havdalah. It is one sacred ceremony making the division between everyday and the holy. Because finally you have to cut off from the holy. Yes, at the end you want to go back through meditation because you're going back into the other world in the sixth chakra. But when you come into the world in the first chakra, then you are in this world. So you have to be here. And so you have to mark the division between everyday and the holy for cleansing before the Sabbath, the day of rest, Sunday, and split between the sacred and the ordinary. So in the earlier days, babies were anointed with this metal, myrtle, during the first year, and it prevented their skin from irritation. So again, skin is the barrier, and that is the one which gets most affected, and we are supposed to take care of it the most. It is known to be beneficent in healing bruises, sores, and fungus of the feet. In the repertory also, a tuberculin tendency is found. That is an important remedy for neglected pneumonia of the left lung, bronchitis, pain in the left breast, tuberculosis, dry throat, sinusitis, lot of yawning and cough, dry, hollow cough. So colds, coughs, running nose from every atmospheric change. Sensitivity is due to the spreading nature of the metals on the feminine side. So rheumatic stabbing pains in the chest, radiating to the shoulders and the armpits. So chest to shoulders and armpits. Then again uterine prolapse. And here the pain is pulling downward, dull. And there is a very peculiar thing in this, that folklore says myrtle opens the womb. So it will be an important remedy even for delivery. Also, of course, for getting pregnant and for frigidity. So frigidity, on the other side, male side, impotence, lack of self-confidence when meeting the other. When you meet well, then you get pregnant, right? And if you don't meet well, pregnancy eludes. So it opens the womb, remember that. Love starts dignified like a fairy tale, but ends in trouble with clash of two very different, very incompatible worlds. So, so all the time, if they are so incompatible, I was wondering why they have to become together. So different, the male and the feminine. They are men are from Mars, women are from Venus. So many books are written. Why can't there be some meeting ground? The picture is unclear because no proving was conducted for this latest communist. But there are hints which connect to themes that appear in the pomegranate, the same family. The split between the mind and the masculine and feminine expressed on the skin. The feminine element is suppressed, pushed down to be expressed as problems of lungs, breast, and uterus. That remedy is finished. Okay, that's it. So what we had, leads to, we said, it opens up the womb. It's also for frigidity, impotence, and lack of confidence, and therefore you may have infertility. Then you have the dry cough and the pain which goes from chest to the shoulders and left breast, and dry hollow cough, very sensitive to every atmospheric change like phosphorus. Yeah. So you have to remember this. Patient comes to you, doctor, everything, we immediately give phosphorus, but it may not be phosphorus at all. Just give a few doses of mid and use it for skin. Next remedy is pigmenta officinalis. Sorry, it is not K, it is L. A masculine remedy. So we are coming down and the remedies will become little more masculine. And this creates more disturbance in the body image and the split. So half the body is hot and the other half is cold. So you may have a hand hot and the right hand cold. A specific area feels hot and another feels as if a cold sponge has been rubbed over it. So, very confusing. But if we find such a symptom in patient, makes life very easy for us to prescribe, right? Affliction only on one side of the head, Allen says. Meningitis with intermittent fevers, which come and go, like malaria, myasthenia. So China, Natramur, other remedies can be here, come in comparison. And a tonic from this pimento is good for releasing gas. So when you say somebody comes and says all the time we give carbo, right? Carbo animalis sometimes. So colocin sometimes. So he used, but only few doses. Too much can harm the heart because it affects the heart. That's it. So what did you have in pigmenta? Masculine remedy, split body image, one side cold, one side hot, one side as if cold sponges rubbed, one side of the head, intermittent fever, and a tonic. You can give it for gas. But only 1 or 2 days. You have the next short remedy called Melaleuca alternifolia. Melaleuca alternifolia. So the black and white, it's there in everything, but in some it becomes more pronounced. So the black and white come up in the proving, echoing the first row. Black side feels enveloped by a black cloud. So sometimes the patient came and told me, I can't remember now the patient, or I could have called them back, that as if a black cloud is surrounding me. That time I didn't know this remedy, never heard of it. Black cloud with much anger throws things, explosive violence and swearing. So here already we are coming to the part where they are not so sweet and then turn prickly, but they are already pricked. Prefers to be alone, feels ugly. Not one day good and one day bad like in Granatum, but does not want company, prefers to be alone. Throws things, explosive, violence, swearing like Virat. Nothing will succeed. It disconnects one from the body, thereby causing anxiety. Body is feminine, na? Mind masculine, going, thinking of career, work. So then when you disconnect from the body, which allows you to express yourself, it causes anxiety. We saw in the nausea, right? Is one of the things where mind body disconnect. So anxiety from everything, every excitement, and bites the fingernail. That's it. In Judaism, this is also the henna, and the next remedy is also the henna. The henna tree is a folk remedy for fertility. And that's why now we understand why we put so much henna, right? In all our weddings and everything. For happiness in married life, balanced life in which the male is found to be the center of the female quality. The flowers have the loveliest aroma. We say, "Na, I love Mendi." Mentioned in the biblical Song of Songs. Under the cluster of the henna tree, my beloved will rest on my chest. Okay. Now our fifth remedy, Lawsonia alba. It is also henna. So Lawsonia alba. So what is the difference? One is from the flowers, one is from the trunk. Lawsonia alba or henna, the henna tree, the mignonetta tree, and the Egyptian privet is a flowering plant, and the one of the only two species of the genus Lawsonia, the one being, anyway, doesn't import, Lawsonia odorata. The medicinal properties include renal lithiasis, so tendency to form renal problems, jaundice, wound healing, prevents skin inflammation, bark, see the bark, used in the treatment of jaundice and spleen. So we should think about it. Renal calculus, leprosy, and obstinate skin disease. So leprosy, obstinate skin disease, calculus, and spleen. Lawsonia, also henna. So if you remember the tree trunk, very rough. So if you remember the tree trunk, you remember very rough and obstinate skin disease, leprosy, henna, there's wound healing, there's renal lithiasis, and there is spleen. So it's a short remedy we can use for as an adjunct maybe. You know, when you have a spleen problem, in fact, I'm thinking of one patient who has a spleen problem, doing well with Drosera for whatever reasons. And we've kept her kind of alive for the last 5 years. Yeah. So you have spleen. So what is Lawsonia? Henna. It is medicinal properties, renal stone, jaundice, wound healing, skin, and spleen. It is used to cause abortion. Now people ask us, do you have any remedy? No, we don't have any remedy. Maybe we can try Lawsonia now. I don't know. No, and they ask for, can you give something? We just have little pulsatilla, which brings the period. So we may try that. Okay. The pigment is derived from the bark and the leaves, is used to color hair and decorate hands in the henna ceremony, which marks passage from a single lifetime to living as a twosome. Because column 5 revolves around the question, how can two separate beings single together? How does one meet the other, and how does one live together for so long? Nowadays, the period of living together is becoming shorter and shorter. Maybe they're not using enough henna. Okay. So this is my last remedy of this Mictus group. This is the last remedy. And I'm going to focus on this a little bit because I spent a time, collecting some material. So it's called evening primrose. So it is also one of the flower essences. Okay. It is an important thing. I think we can use it a lot. It's remedy special for me as I've done a lot of study on it and feel it will be useful for us for some important things like painless diarrhea with tremendous weakness, like phosphoric acid. We always give phosphoric acid. Patients had a lot of diarrhea, very, very weak. Arsenic had a little bit pain and cramps, so we may use phosphoric. And especially they say, oh, like a stone on the head, but now we should think of Onethera pales. So there's congestion, which is there in all the remedies with people. And it rejuvenates the skin and makes it supple. It also makes easy labor. It makes the cervix supple. And for multiple sclerosis, we'll see how they found that. So it has patterns of imbalance, feeling rejected, unwanted, avoidance of commitment in relationship, fear of parenthood. So every stage you can see there's a lot of fear, and sexual and emotional repression. So every stage of evolution of the child, it has got fear, and every stage it can be useful. Therefore, I thought that this remedy we should study a bit more. Okay. So yeah, we have enough time. We've done good time. Yeah. Though we've covered so many remedies, right? But 3, 4 were very short. The big one was granithum, and the big one was onethera. So let's see what I did. So it is the sand dune plant that wandered and settled all over the world's beaches. Okay, with the ships. Ships were going from here to there. They came back from the Americanas, and it settled everywhere. So it was a sand dune plant. See, it is light yellow color. Can you see? I want the same color. Yeah, just to make it imprint on your mind. So it blossoms only at night, like the parijat tree, right? Only at night with a light yellow color created from the phosphoric component. Its seeds are very oily and rich in gamma linoleic acid. Remember this linoleic acid, okay? Traditionally, it was used to promote uterine contractions. It softens the cervix before birth. So it is useful for easy labor. We give always pulsatilla, colophylum going here, there, pain everywhere. Pulsatilla, especially if it's the acute remedy, it always helps me. I remember my mother's time, she used to give this to everyone who's going to give it called easy labor. People used to come to her just for easy delivery, give us medicine. It is, she didn't, of course, know any therapy awareness. Of course, she didn't know anything. I think she would have been very happy to learn these new remedies. I often miss her so much that all these new things which are happening, she would have quite liked it. It is believed to be helpful in cases of both male and female infertility and female hormonal imbalance. So this Vermeulen and Johnston plant books both have said this. It is also useful in rheumatism and eczema. Skin, all these remedies have been said. Help to rejuvenate skin, render it more flexible. So I'm going to get this remedy today and I'm going to give it to somebody today. And then I will tell you next week if there is any change. It took me 5 days to get this remedy. No proving as such is available. Symptoms are derived from cases, clinical observations, and poison. That is our original thing, right? That's how we got many of our symptoms of many of our drugs. From poisoning effects, from observation, and especially from cases. But from cases, the best way to learn, because when we see something happening, I learned my magnesium craving for salt from cases only. The patient I had whom I wanted to give natural, it looked much more like magnesium. I'm talking about many years ago. And then, she was quite quiet and her face was like placid, like magnesium. And she was sitting there constantly rolling her earring. It was a ring, go round and round and round. And she came to me and I felt, how is this patient so calm, looks so calm? She had 4 children and the husband had left. How husbands do that? So, yeah. So I had given her magnesium. She did very well under magnesium. And I learned that craving for salt is in magnesium oils. So that's called a clinical symptom. So congestion with weakness, pressure in the brain to the point of dizziness, such that he lost his ability to speak and to use his muscles. So there's weakness both at the physical and mental level. It is used homeopathically in hydrocephalus. There was one case of hydrocephalus which I really didn't cure. Finally, they gave up. I was just wondering whether I should call up, and the child is still not well, to call them back. Let me see. So this is how, if you can keep connecting to your cases which didn't improve, and then if they are, luckily, if they are there with you, you can use it. They are not there, try to ask them, they have found a new remedy. Would you like to just try it for a little time? Try. Later on, weakness and exhaustion sets. I was driven crazy by the loss of feeling in my muscles, total muscle weakness. We only know it in arnica, phosphoric acid, 5-phos, rescue, so some remedy. I could not even move my eyelids, Chelsea moving. That's what we think. So we can use other remedy. Later on, I got stabbing pains in my body, muscle spasms, and a griping pain under the umbilicus. So umbilicus seems a lot of great location for this group of remedies, okay? Because umbilicus is again connected to the mother, to the other world, and so on. The remedy could be effective in multiple sclerosis because it is suggested to give the oil as a supplement to multiple sclerosis patients. So we have to gather these informations and then make a remedy. Special affinity is loss of fluids because there is that chronic diarrhea or normal stool, but very frequent. Summer diarrhea in children accompanied by extreme exhaustion and melancholy. Arsenic. Melancholy, we never asked in arsenic. We just said, okay, diarrhea, weakness from the second stool, arsenic. You have to ask melancholy. I think arsenic will be a little irritable. Yesterday, while doing that patient with prunus, I also learned another remedy. So cantharis is, yes, frequent drop white burning, everything is there, but it is very irritable and shrieky. The other remedy we saw prunus, where there's urge for stool and constant urging and burning. And then sarsaparilla is one other remedy which is calm for urinary infections. So see, whenever you have these, and today, these days, we seem to be having a lot of urinary infections. So you've seen this in children with diarrhea, exhaustion, melancholy, pale, emaciated, and despondent, Blackwood said. Pale, emaciated, and despondent. So because of the fading feminine quality, it is a remedy known for menopausal hot flushes, all these things. Known qualities of the primrose oil. Yeah, nowadays people put a lot of these incense all over the house. So primrose in women who are at that stage, it's good. And the PMS. Hysterical tendency, very sensitive nervous system, inclination to cry at every little thing. So it is called feeble innervation with broken sleep, inclination to cry from slightest annoyance, says Niederkorn. We've learned these doctors only from their cases, right? Rosenthal, Niederkorn, Anna. Sholton writes, it's a feminist because they've come into that phase, no? In that subcolumn, feminine become more masculine, the work, right? So feels, and then you always have a problem. You're not equal to men. They don't treat you as equal to men. So feels invalidated as a woman. She's not paid enough. There are still fights everywhere where even women laborers are not paid as much as men, not respected as a man would be. So this is the beginning stage of the masculine reign, right? In due course, melancholia and low spiritedness ensues, doesn't want to speak or see people, and therefore loses a voice, doesn't have to speak. So either they speak too much to make the connection with the other, and then finally lose their voice so that they don't have to speak to anyone and stay alone. Flabby tongue, general weakness and exhaustion similar to phosphoric acid. So whenever you think of phosphoric acid, now think acid, phosphoric acid is mineral. So think, is this patient plant? Farrington gives the indication exhausting watery diarrhea without effort, with nervous exhaustion and even incipient hydrocephalus. Beginning stage. So Hurd cured a man 65 who had severe pain in his stomach after meals for 2 years and gave 25 drop doses of the tincture, and he was cured. General numbness, general warm sweat with urgent desire to micturate, and better after evacuation, both urine and bladder. These are noteworthy symptoms. So better after urination, don't think only of gelsemium. Think of Ornithera biennis, or I prefer to call it evening primrose. Better after evacuation of bowel is, I think, common for everybody. So, but when you have numbness and great weakness and you're better after bowel, then it's a noteworthy. So the important diseases: cholera, diarrhea, hydrocephalus, violent vertigo, swimming sensation, dizziness with weakness of the limbs, and fluttering about the heart. Better by free action of bowels and copious discharge of urine, numbness and prickling of the entire body. So, since it is summer remedy, summer diarrhea, so the remedies which we normally use, the reason has come, which is so unrelentingly severe on the very young, the old, and the weak. So, concerning the first class of summer diarrhea, we have to study the remedies particularly adapted to the ailments which are provoked or aggravated by heat. Prominent among such affections are bowel complaints. So well-tried remedies which we normally use and we know very well are aconite, Rhynia summer, sulfur, ipecac if there's not nausea, or arsenic if there's irritability and weakness, carboveg if there's gas, podophyllum, all the 3Ps, painless, profuse, putrid, veratrum album, etc. They should be there in armamentary. But we should also add these new drugs. Okay. So, Ornithera biennis, or evening primrose, common in fields and waste places, is an invaluable remedy in exhausting watery diarrhea. It does not act, as been suggested, as an astringent by stannic acid, but is a genuine homeopathic remedy producing and curing diarrhea. So, okay, tannic acid, we thought that is the common use, what we call the commonly used as an astringent. But here it is a genuine homeopathic remedy for curing diarrhea. The evacuations are without effort, painless, are accompanied by nervous exhaustion, melancholy. So we have to add melancholy to it when the subject is pale, emaciated, and despondent. Its positive qualities of this, from flower essences, we got this, that the positive qualities are awareness and healing of painful early emotions absorbed from the mother, ability to open up emotionally and form deep committed relationships. So in people or in girls who have problems with making any relationship work, who have come from some painful early memories for some reason from the mother, either the mother has left her, she's abandoned her, whatever be the reason, then they are unable, that trauma quite never goes, so they are unable to form relationship, and this Ornithera maybe will heal them and able to open up emotionally, form deep committed relationship. So we can now think of, anybody can think of people whom they can give it to give it, okay? So we'll tell you, Armika Pharmacy in Bandra is going to give it to us, so you can also buy it from there. Patterns of imbalance, feeling rejected and unwanted, avoidance of commitment in relationship. Their fear of everything, as I told you, everything. Fear they had of that, of adolescent, of forming a relationship, of parenthood, of sex, and they also have emotional repression. The soul is most open and receives its impressions of life on earth while in the utero and early innocence. At this time, it is more a moon-like being than a sun being, receiving and reflecting the soul light of the parents, especially the mother. Now, if the mother is going through a trauma, that time you can see what the impact will be. And then after that, if it's abandoned, even more lasting impact. These early experiences of light and love are as formative for emotional development as proper nutrition is for the physical. I really like this. And you put a flower over there on the stomach. So you have to give it that flower. If the soul is neglected or abused while in utero or in very early infancy, a pronounced and deeply unconscious feeling of pain and rejection resides in the individual for a long time or forever. Such persons feel unwanted and often cope by avoiding deep emotional contact or bonding. They return a moon-like coldness in their souls and unable to radiate. Sun radiates warmth. This does not radiate warmth because it is cold. And unable to radiate warmth and love from their own center because they're cold inside. So they can't radiate warmth and therefore can't form relationship. So think of patients whom you can give Onethera bienis or evening primrose. There can also be a deeply repressed aversion to sexuality. Okay, if a child is rejected and repressed or born after rape, like every day in the paper there is gang rape, gang rape. I wonder what happens to these girls. They can never get over it. And if a child is born of that, then what happens? So they're deeply repressed aversion to sexuality, particularly if the reproductive act which brought in the incarnating child was filled with turmoil, violence, or debased lust. So think if we can ever get a chance to treat these girls who have been raped, let us give this remedy and see if we can heal them. Evening primrose helps to catalyze the emotional awareness of such souls, especially regarding the original core incarnation experiences which are so devastating. So we are now talking about healing, which was many years ago. The child may be now today 20, 25, but that whole birth after rape or sexual incest or whatever, that never quite goes from the universal memory that we have. So evening primrose literally rebirths the soul, providing a matrix of emotional nutrients were lacking in the soul's earliest feelings about incarnation. Don't you think this is a nice, important remedy which I have spent so much time of mine and yours? Okay. So Dr. Douglas of Milwaukee was the first to use this remedy in homeopathic practice. I don't know if he used it like this, but it had been quite enthusiastic in praises in cholera and in other water diarrheas of children. Again, it may be those children like Ken found magnesium carb useful in orphans. So you can think of this remedy also like that. The late Dr. Perrine reported some successful clinical experience is similar. Hale says, I cannot learn that any other practitioner of a school have had any success in treating bowel complaints with this medicine. Dr. T.R. Newt of Chicago is now about the only physician who uses Ornithera much. He regards it as a panacea. He gives it to everyone. For all the ills that flesh is heir to, means all the he uses it as a panacea for everybody. So he read a long paper lauding its virtues before this homeopathic society in 1874. This same paper with some additions, I thought this was interesting history, so I put it all in. I could have easily removed it. It was published in United States Medical and Surgical Journal a few months later. I think Dr. Newt has a monomania and fever of the drug. But as this is a harmless one, both the drug and the monomania, so I'm allowed to keep both. I found that very funny. Keep it, you use it, you're not doing any harm. Carry on, carry on. So Murphy says clinical cholera, diarrhea, hydrocephalus, nervous exhaustion, paralysis, and multiple sclerosis. In homeopathic tea, Riker Newt, I already told you, recorded a proving on a woman who took this Ornithera twice. The first, the teaspoon, the second, 30 drops of the liquid extract for the relief of a wearisome feeling of mental and physical oppression. On each occasion, distinct poisoning symptoms were developed. Later, the patient became well. So, on that basis, you can think of general paralysis of mental and bodily forces with copious and easy evacuations of bowels and bladder, which is throwing the poison off out of the system. And therefore, you have total relief of the generals. General numbness, general warm sweat with urgent desire to urinate, better after evacuation of bowels and bladder. Therefore, you have the effortless, painless diarrhea because it relieves the whole body, the generals are relieved. So you also do and compare it with diarrhea with Ipecac, Nephalis, Newfur. See, these are newer remedies. In better from copious urination, you have Ignatia and Gelsemium. In better after stool, you have Bryannia, Colchicum, Colosin, Crotalus, Oxyd, Rustox, Spigelia, Sulfur. And in paralytic symptoms, you have Gelsemium. So this is from Boric and Clark. From homeotherapy, The Evening Primrose by Dr. Gordon Ross. One night, he said, this is again a story I found interesting, so I'm sharing. For one reason or another, my mind made me think about the primrose, and I wanted to see what Boric had to say about it. So he mentions primrose briefly on page 506 and 531. And when revising the excellent repertory for the original German edition, yeah, they can get all that, with Margaret Hearns in 1972. I should have drawn attention to a little confusion in his summary of the primrose. On page 531, brief entry, he says it can be used homeopathically in skin irritation. And Dr. Clark in his Dictionary of Materia Medica confirmed this. Also notes that the common or garden primrose, all are skin irritants, and therefore they can cure in homeopathic form. All three are members of this Primulaceae family, and in potency, they all act in the skin. That's fine. The subject of this paper is, however, the evening primrose, belonging to a large natural order, the Onagracea, where there are 80 or 100 species recognized. And we have proved only two, the Ornithera benis and the Epilobium palustre, the willow herb. He states that our tinctures are made from the fresh flowering plant. So this primrose are annual, same remedy, biennials or herbaceous perennials and subshrubs. They rarely grow to a height of 3 feet and they can spread like weed in a garden. They are mid-green, forming substantial rosettes. The erect stems carry a profusion of pale yellow flowers, 2 inches across, and come from June to October in the evening. They grow well in any country today. So Boric suggests to compare with phosphoric acid, Onethera benis, which in any potency helps nervous exhaustion and effortless diarrhea. I have other reasons for discussing Onethera. That is because of 2 letters in recent numbers of British Medical Journal, one on 8/10/1977. So here comes that proof of that using it in multiple sclerosis. Trial of polyunsaturated fatty acid in non-relapsing multiple sclerosis. A distressing illness where we need all the help we can get. Sunday Express suggested that primrose could prevent this and coronaries and rheumatoid. The 4 doctors who wrote the British Medical Journal article of 8/10/77 were from Department of Neurology, Royal Victoria Infirmary, Newcastle upon Tyne. Their first sentence read, possibility of a relationship between multiple sclerosis and the consumption of polyunsaturated fatty acids suggested by a number of dietary and biochemical studies led to the setting up of a controlled trial of linoleic acid in this disease. You saw, I told you right in the beginning, keep in mind linoleic acid. The primrose, evening primrose or Onethera benis is got linoleic acid. So, any practitioner knows that when a young woman has a uterus removed, her flooding stops. But certain unlucky ones become neurotic and difficult in their years. So the homeopathic idea of thinking of a person as a trilogy of body, mind, and spirit is not one which has yet gained acceptance by the medical profession. But we know that very well. So we can use this primrose in that also. So in patients who had hysterectomy and are very after that neurotic or difficult, we have to use this. So I want to kind of end with this Wordsworth verse, a primrose by the river's brim, a yellow rose was it to him, nothing more. He didn't think it was anything else. But we homeopaths and even the allopaths know that it could be used for other things. So he was lucky to view the flower with the eye of a poet and to have no knowledge on the infinite uses to which the word primrose can be put. But this paper will not have been written in vain, or my whole talk on Onethera benis will not be in vain if you homeopaths realize that common garden yellow primrose should be thought by us in so many things, right from painless diarrhea, weakness, menopausal problems, and for multiple sclerosis. So physical and mental paralysis, where the feminine quality is suppressed by the masculine, throwing it out of balance, is where we have to look at. And now my concluding words on the group Mertels. Young writes, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. That is by confrontation with the shadow and the world of darkness. Don't hide, he says, confront. Every time we have a problem, we have to confront it, and then we get a solution. The latter procedure, however, is disagreeable, therefore not popular, just like homeopathy, right? But we need to confront, and then we'll find the problem, and then we will solve. So in column 5, the soul, on path towards awakened consciousness and ultimate enlightenment, is obliged to pass through the darkness left from the split between masculine and feminine. Walking in darkness enables the human being to acquire tools that will later allow the ego to be presented in its full glory as one of the unique potential realizations of the infinite, and then we will be free of it. In other words, the soul's syphilitic passage through the darkness, as just seen in my tales, and we will see in fables also, is unavoidable, both for the individual and in terms of the collective human evolution. In this journey, there will be mid-tail moments of restriction because the feminine is suppressed, and darkness, and though challenging, promote the refinement of consciousness to a higher levels of awareness to the light. So we've done a lot of philosophy, and I've told you Anathema Benis, which I think will be a very useful remedy for all of us. I will try to do some briefs of it in the next time of the 6 remedies we've done today. And with this, we finish Mirtales. We've done Rosales before. This is Mirtale, and we finished the row 1. Next time we'll be starting with Fables, and this time I did give you a live case of Prunus, so you cannot say I didn't give you a live case. But next time in Fables we will have more live cases, hopefully. In the first lecture, maybe we'll start with a remedy which already has a live case. And also I'll be telling you about evening primrose and if it had any effect at all with the, with had anything. Oh, sorry. I didn't do full screen. Okay. Okay, sorry. I just realized I didn't do full screen just now. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Preeti, you can open them up. Any questions? I'll stop sharing. Yeah. Anything? Anybody wants to ask? Did you have fun? I think only through fun we learn. So that's why I asked you, did you all have fun? Preeti, can you let them speak? Hello?
Yes, ma. Hi, good evening.
Yeah. Good evening, Dr. Veba.
Ma'am, the slides of, I even find difficult to pronounce the name of the second last, that primrose oil and all. It's really, yeah,
all
yeah,
of us have difficulties.
thank you. So it's really, really good. Why more really good? Because see, basically we know the basic of gelsemium, veratrum and whatever medicine you told, that exhaustion, arnica and all. When you write in the bracket, we can correlate this medicine to that. But if you just simply say this is a tiredness and weakness and all, then we get more confused. But bracket is helping us, me at least, to more that how to correlate this medicine and what would be the symptoms. It makes more
when
easier.
We compare and learn, then it becomes clear. We compare with remedies we
Yeah,
already use.
yeah, absolutely. So just simply medicine, it is difficult to digest for everybody. I assume, I may be wrong. But if you compare with this, then those knowledge we have, then we have to compare that. Oh, this is the same. So now if any case with painless diarrhea, we can put it in my mind, oh, that oinothre is the medicine, like that. So please keep on bracketing all those medicines. So it is easier for us to write that.
Thank you, Dr. Biba, for pointing out important points.
Thank
So,
you.
but all these stories which I told you, this how we came to multiple sclerosis, how people keep thinking even from the other side of medical field, how we can integrate that and use it, and especially in this connection of rape that's happening these days, or people who are thrown out of the house, or women who have been raped and the child is born. If we can give this remedy especially, that's why I spend more time on granathum and the Onetia benis, because so that we can use these 2 remedies. One is a queen and one is a raped No? Very opposite remedies, right? And if we can use prunus and we can use agrimony like we did earlier, no, it will be nice, right? At least 5, 6, 4, 5 remedies seem very usable, right? Yes, somebody
Yes.
else say something. Anybody else wants to say anything? Dr. Mamta? Nobody has anything to say? Preeti, is the mic open?
Yeah, regarding multiple sclerosis and the primrose indication of sclerosis,
Yeah.
as far as multiple sclerosis is concerned, because we never get a very good response for the when we manage it.
Correct.
So are you sure I will be
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Shaji. Thank you.
next time?
Yeah.
So it was a great information from your side.
Thank you. Thank you. So it was very nice. For me, it is very nice preparing. How much you all enjoy and use is I'm waiting for it. And if you can say that, yes, I will use it in this and get the case also of multiple sclerosis. It's not very easy to get cases. But we can, if you know a patient, sometimes we can talk to them saying, you continue what you're doing. Try using this along with it. You know, my husband used to always shout at me saying, but why do you suggest to them to take? I said, how will they know that homeopathy has a remedy for this? I'm just suggesting, I'm not saying they have to come to me, but I'm just suggesting that, you know, they have some alternatives and all for Parkinson, for multiple sclerosis, for hydrocephalus, all these conditions.
Challenging case, it's very much challenging.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so we did good time and we finished on the dot at 5. I was very worried today because it would, I was worried that there would be a lot of, it was long and we'd have to go over some of the things. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, people. Start sharing. Don't feel shy. Okay, I'm asking you share, so you can share. Bye. Next time we are starting Sabbath and we start with a live case. So that I want to imprint on you that these remedies will be useful. Yes, they are new. Yes, they are difficult. Yes, the names also we've not heard. But if we can use few remedies and we learn something, that is well worth it. Okay. Tabussam, you have anything to share? Mittal, anything?
Yes, thank you.
Okay then.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Okay, thank you. And
thank you.
Goodbye till next Thursday.
Bye.
Shahala, we are happy you could attend today. Very happy. Is there a problem? You can't open up? Preeti, they can open up, right? Okay.